Hello and welcome to Feature Friday. It is an exciting day because I'm getting to talk to Cheri Yazzie, who first of all, she is $1 million Amazon seller, but that's not even what's so awesome about her. She's a grateful bitch and she is a woman in her power. Just to be in her presence is totally intoxicating. And I hope that you'll get an opportunity to see some of that today. Please feel free to ask questions, but I'm not going to do any more introductions of Cheri. I'm going to let her tell you all about what makes her awesome. And Cheri, take it away.
Well, I am so happy, Debbie. I love every day. I love how you just show up and show up and show up. And I'm like, wow, that lady's got it. Yes. What Debbie said, I sell stuff on Amazon. And we surpassed our $1 million mark. It was just incredible for us. And we actually teach people how to sell on Amazon. We created a course, very specifically what I was looking for, because when we started, I felt like I was bumbling around in the dark, drunk, trying to figure out how to make money online. And it wasn't going very well. So
You're not alone. You're not alone.
Yeah. I created a step-by-step of 2 years, and I condensed it down so someone can learn it. Well, as of now, they can learn it. They really apply themselves. So for me, that was really key, the opportunity to learn it, so that all it took was action. And that's the cool part, because at least for me, my journey online has been so much of stop and start and then screwing up and then starting over. And, we take action, but a lot of times it would be the wrong action and it would be working against us. So I wanted to put together a training. It was really simple. Anyone can do it. You do have to have capital to sell on Amazon, I'll tell you that. But Matt's my husband. He's been putting together some stuff for people who are just starting out, like who want to do the thrifting and the yard selling to build up to Amazon. So it really does take all types. It just depends on where you are. And as we've done that, it's been lovely because I've had more time. And so what I've been clear on is I wanted to give back in a bigger way. Not just to help people's bottom lines, but to help their hearts, their souls, their minds, be connected and in tune with one another. And basically creating that ripple effect, like you throw a pebble in a pond and it ripples out. So not only making a difference person to person, but how it makes a difference in their lives. So that's why I created Grateful Bitch. That is when I got it, I was like, that's me. I'm the Grateful Bitch.
I love it so much.
I had tried, before, because I've been marketing for a while and I just failed really horribly. I was like, I needed a catchy title, right? And the Barefoot Blogger, but then I never blogged.
Way to own a space you don't own, right?
Yeah, it didn't work. It really didn't work. And so I was like, because I am barefoot all the time. So this, once it hit. And I do. We do gratitude stuff, and in the morning I say thank you when I wake up. But when at night I say thank you. I just say thank you, thank you, thank you. It's just to get in that space. And right. I have a specific and we do gratitude with our kids, so.
Yeah. So I want to just mention that Carmen is here. So I want to say hello, Carmen. And also Brittany is here. So hello, Brittany. Hi. Thank you. Thank you, ladies, for joining us. And it looks like you got a little bit of love from both Mark and Carmen. So, I understand your journey has not been easy. It's been a bumpy one. It's inventing and reinventing. And it's not an uncommon entrepreneurial journey, right? We are fully aware of what it takes to succeed online. So one of the things that I would love to ask you is, was there a moment in your business where you realized this is what it takes and this is what I'm going to do, and it worked?
Yes. So actually, we were sitting on the stairs and just failure after failure after failure. And I just got this decision. I was like, no, we are not going to fail anymore. We have a son and I want to teach him what it looks like to be successful, because we had been in business for ourselves. So we picked him up my originally was, so he never had to go to preschool, daycare. And like, so we had, I was like, no, I don't want to teach him just how to be home and not make any money and stress all day long. I'm like, that's dumb. Like, we're going to be successful. So it was just this moment where I realized if I never give up, if I keep going, I'll be successful. It's a matter of time. It's just a matter of time once you decide that you will never get tests and things will change. That's one of the things. I think the biggest tip I could give someone about business is adaptability. You need to adapt. It is a nonstop adaptation. Just when you think, I've got it, I totally have it, then it'll be like, oh, okay, there's a whole bunch of new stuff.
Right. And tenacity, which you also touched on, is so critical. It's just really putting that one foot in front of the other. How long was it after you just decided you were going to do whatever it took before you started really catapulting to where you wanted to go?
Well, you know, actually what was really cool is it took about 2 months until we started actually making some money. And it was very little bits of money. But I mean, that's after going pretty much a solid year with making no money.
Wow.
And we were working 12, 14-hour days, at least, both of us, on the same projects and not making any money.
Wow. That must have been tough. How did I think, one of the things that we don't cover too often in entrepreneurship is your relationship. Most of us don't work with our partner or significant other, so probably can't even imagine some of the tools and resources that you had to find in not only working with your husband, but in both of you not totally destroying each other when things weren't working. So how did you get through that particular component?
I think for me, it was just working with him has been actually the thing that saved me. I would have given up if it had just been me. I would have given. I would not have even made it as far as that solid year of work and no income. I would have given up sometime in there, which was actually 4 years ago. Because Facebook is so handy; they remind you of things. And like 4 years ago, I was starting really heavily marketing and failing. So it was during that year I would have quit. So knowing that he was there too, I never felt like I had the option. Like it was not even an option. And then the cool thing is with anybody who's your business partner, but when they're your spouse, is when you find the things that you're good at versus what they're good at, and then you still stay in your own lanes.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear a
really
lot.
Works well.
Yeah, I hear a lot. And I'm sorry, we're beta testing Be Live, by the way. It is still in beta, so we have zero control over the technology. And I know, Cheri, your audio keeps popping in and out. Mm-hmm. And so, we do the best we can. We'll just keep moving forward. But I think that, technology is always one of the difficult components to being online when you have so many variables with what you're doing. With Amazon, what have been some technological, I guess, not breakthroughs, but maybe some areas where you decided you needed to step up and then maybe work around? Like, what has been the biggest challenge for you technologically by being an online entrepreneur?
Well, I'd say really was picking a spot to go with, like you had to find something that works for you first. And we were trying to do things that weren't working. We were getting taught, say, something by like a guru that works for them because they have 20 million people who want to listen to them. Right. And then I would go and say that, like, I've got a message, and nobody gave a shit. They're like, so we don't care. You know what I mean? And like, it was very frustrating. So that was when we found Amazon. There are buyers there looking to buy stuff. Mm-hmm. And it was such a relief. All I had to do was find the stuff they wanted to buy and send it in. And it was like, oh, I can do this.
Yeah, like they want what you have. And so finding the space is really, really important. That's a great message too, that just because something works for someone else, if you're preaching to the wrong audience, it doesn't mean that it's going to work for you. And obviously everybody here has their own special sauce. So we're going to have to find what works for you. I want to take a moment really quickly to say, if you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in. As we're talking, Cheri will answer them. And if you're watching the replay, first of all, thank you for taking the time. Yay, yay. Little shout out to the replay watchers. But please also feel free to ask any questions you might have, because Cheri will pop in as well. She's tagged in this, so anytime you comment, she'll see it, or we'll tag you. I think we have to actually tag you in this one. Yeah, Feature Friday with Be Live. I can't actually tag you when we go live, but I'll make sure we tag her. And then if you have any questions, you could tag her specifically, but she'll come back in and answer them. So don't be shy about asking your questions. This is the place to do it. All right, Cheri, what is one thing that if people knew nothing about you, they need to know this? Something that you haven't already covered. What would it be?
That is a really good question. I would say that I am really odd, and I recommend you all be odd as well. So here's the deal. In the mornings, I jump up and down. Randomly, I get up. I like smack my hands together. I stomp around. I jump. I dance, and I sing. I dance and I sing every single day, and I move that ass, right?
You got to shake that ass, people. That's what keeps you moving, the blood pumping. Yeah.
And it shifts your whole mindset. So, I mean, like, it's occurred to me, and then I yell, like, I usually warn people if they're around me, but just like full on, yeah, as loud as I can. We warned our neighbors when we got back from Tony Robbins. We're like, just randomly, you're going to hear yelling. And they're like, at each other? And we're like, no, just yelling. No, everybody's fine.
As long as it can't be mistaken for, spousal abuse, I think everyone is pretty good, right?
Yeah. But I think it's just something that has made the biggest difference for me, I believe, is actually that movement, the body movement, the just getting out of your shell, busting out. It's like you get in these ruts, right? Because you have life. If you have kids, if you have a business, or if you have a job, you can get into this rut where you're just stuck. And those kind of movements, it's almost like shaking off the dust, forming a crack in, like, those facial masks when they start to dry. And if you move, it's like... You got to do that all the time, or all of a sudden you're just a big, like, stuck, your shoulders are even up. I mean, you've seen people, right?
Yes.
Relax.
Yes, I've been those people. I have been those people.
Me too.
So I have a great question for you, if I say so myself. Okay, so one question, though, I always think is interesting is, as online entrepreneurs, we're so busy muddling through sometimes. Yes, we're looking for the glory and the joy in everything that we do, but it's a process and there's routine. And so we get in our hustle and bustle, and we don't tend to remember that other people might be benefit from our resources. So I always love to ask, what is one resource that you have, or an online tool you found, something that you could not live without?
Gosh, there's lots, but I'll pick one. I'll pick one for you guys. It's called Gumroad. I don't know if you've heard of it.
No.
It is a wonderful place. It's for people who are artists, who are bloggers, who are entrepreneurs. And when you want to offer a product, instead of using PayPal, you can use Gumroad. It's $10 a month, but their rates, their charges as far as the credit cards are pretty adaptable, and it gives you a buyer's email list. So I love it. It is so, you can use it for just anything, and I just adore it. So that's my tool.
Can you repeat that last thing you said, because you broke up and I couldn't hear you? Tell us again that last piece you said, that what Gumroad does.
It's for bloggers, artists, entrepreneurs. So if you have a product to bring to the marketplace, even just like if you're sending people to a locked link, it gives you the option to accept payments, and it gives you a buyer's list. So you can go in, you can pick which products and email those people directly. I mean, it is so, I just highly recommend it.
Wow.
For entrepreneurs.
Well, I'm going to have to check it out. I don't know about you, but I'm definitely checking it out. So if you have any questions, drop them in now. Cheri, what is the most common question that you get in your line of business?
Where to find product, how to find product is probably with that side of it. And the thing that I would say is a lot of times in any business, there will be questions, right? And there will be common questions, But what is underneath is a mindset issue almost always.
Woo! All right, there we go. That's my random noise right there. That's my cheering because you just hit a nerve, and I'm so happy that you did. Please proceed, my friend.
You bet. I found, like, because I've coached a lot of people, there are some people that they're like, hey, I have more money to spend and I'm looking for more product. I have other people, any product, and it's how they're phrasing what they're saying. The one person I know is going to find product. They just need a little bit of coaching, and boom, product is showing up for them. It's all in their mindset. It's how you're set up for success. So one little short hack I would recommend is if you find that you continually are struggling in anything that you're doing, stop and make intentions. Create an intention before you do anything in your business. Make, just something simple, like with this video or with this live, my intention is to make a difference such that it motivates somebody to take action, or it motivates somebody to buy my course. Whatever intention you want to set up, right? Get used to setting those up, because that will help you shift your mindset out. And it's just a quick tip I can give you right now. But mindset is so key. Read, journal, do the whole thing. Jump around like a crazy person. Really.
Men. Yes. All right. I want to acknowledge, Facebook was not showing me these comments, but thank goodness Be Live in all of its beta testing is showing us comments. We have Stephanie Smartis here. Tandy Alisala's here. Hello, ladies. Thank you for joining. We do have some questions in here. Carmen. Okay. So Carmen had the first question. She said, what tips do you have for someone who just had her first book on Amazon? I'm not sure if this is your space, but if you know anything about it, feel free to chime in.
So if you put a book out on Amazon, there is a lot of competition. And what I really recommend is, is building up your own audience. So doing YouTube videos, doing Facebook Lives, and then funneling that back to Amazon. Because the cool thing is once you get enough traffic from outside, Amazon starts going, hey, this is more popular. Then they start raising it in their algorithms. And once Amazon has raised a book to a certain level, then people are going to be seeing it, and it's going to be sold just from what Amazon does. But right. I find that you have to get that jump started. And the other thing that you want to do is you have to be careful, because Amazon's really picky about reviews, but you need reviews. So don't try to do Fiverr or anything like that. I mean, you want to get some real reviews from people who purchased your book. And they also are really dicey about offering incentives. So, but it's something that maybe you want to just start asking people as they come into your circle. Hey, I'd love it if I could get a review. Just as much as possible, because reviews are what will help also Amazon start driving more traffic to your book.
Right. Okay. So we've got more comments and more people on. I want to say hi to my mom. My mom is watching. Hello.
Hi, Debbie's mom.
Hi, Debbie's mom. Okay. So, all right. So let me see. Of course, Stephanie is amen and all about the moving and shaking and the mindset, because we all know it's all about mindset. So let's see. We have, and Stephanie, also thank you for putting in the link. So Stephanie is awesome. She's like such a soul sister, totally has your back. I know she's put a link in my live feeds as well. So talk about having a trailblazing leader in your corner. Stephanie, thank you so much for always stepping up and showing up and being an amazing woman. Carmen said, thank you very, very much. So if you have any other questions, feel free to drop them in. We had questions on what was the link to the website, but Stephanie dropped that in. So if you have questions, let us know. We've got about 10 more minutes, and then we'll probably wrap it up, because it's lunchtime on the East Coast, and I'm sure everybody still has all kinds of hustle and ass kicking to do today, so we can all make more money online, right? Okay. Sherry's like, well, duh. I mean, why else are we here?
I was like, okay, yeah, sure.
So I wanted to ask you, so obviously people want to know how to make money online and everything, and that's part of your secret sauce. But the other thing is the grateful bitch. And I saw you at the Badassery Retreat really just stepping into your power from a feminine perspective and showing us what that strength looked like without being bitchy or controlling or anything like that. Can you tell us a little bit about that power? It was very obvious it was an internal, heart-centered type of power. And how did you manage to keep that in what some might argue is a male-dominated business as far as Amazon selling and, being with corporate stuff? And I'm sure that you had your own journey in that perspective too, right? So can you share that with us?
Yeah, I think actually, since I was a child, because I live in a place that is very predominantly one religion and one race, and I'm not that religion or that race.
Yeah, you.
Yeah. So what happened is I've been kind of a standout most of my life, like just not, I couldn't even fit in with the crowd, even if I'd tried. So being inside the Amazon space wasn't weird for me, we're around these other people that are very different than us, and wasn't, but it just never even occurred to me. So I think part of it is just getting true to who you are, and so that no matter where you are, you're going to be that person. Yeah. And so that's essentially one of the foundational things of a grateful bitch. Is a grateful bitch makes a difference everywhere she goes. She enjoys the hell out of her life. She's real with the struggles that she has, and she, she's obviously grateful. And so for me, those are the things that have gotten me through, right? Because I don't like and this is the thing, and this is why I'm not a very good salesperson, because I don't like it when people are like, everything is perfect, and I made all this money, and my life is wonderful right now, so you guys should tell me about my stuff. And I'm just like, oh.
Who here's gagging? Raise your hands if you're gagging over here.
I was like, come on, you were crying in the closet 2 days ago, right? Come on, tell me truth, tell me. And so that is more my style, is because that's the thing, is Amazon for us has been a huge blessing. Teaching people how to sell on Amazon has been amazing. And there are still days where I'm like, oh, why does it have to look like this? Why? You know what I mean? Like, because we're all still human. Yeah, and I think sometimes the image gets too big and the real person starts kind of fading away.
And I think that people sometimes forget the value of sharing your struggle. And it's not saying that as you're crying in your closet or in the corner in a ball.
You do a live video and you're like,
right. No one's telling you, because I've seen people like physically crying on live videos. And I'm sorry, I love my online entrepreneurs, but it gives me a little bit of an eye roll. I'm like, sorry, kind of feels a little ployish to me. And so I tend to be like, no, I'm sorry, I'm not clicking your video. Oh, you're crying again. Oh, go figure. It's like, we don't want to identify with the crying part. We want to identify with the warrior who survives. Yes, we love you and acknowledge your journey, right? And I think that's what people forget, is that we don't always want to see you up here on the pedestal, on the throne with your crown on. We want you to share parts of your day that show us how you got there, and then what it was that helped you triumph, right? Because everybody's looking for their own triumph over every point in the journey. And so we're all rising together, so we have things to share. Was there something that was really vulnerable for you to share that you ended up sharing, and then it was like a really important moment for you in business or your life even?
Yeah, well, actually, when we started our Amazon journey, we'd sold one of our cars. We had our other car listed, so we would have had no cars, which would have been dumb. And we were going to put our house on the market so we wouldn't lose it. We were in like $30,000 to $40,000 in credit card debt, and we were reaching our limits. So I was using the credit cards to buy groceries.
Say that again, because we actually lost you for a second, just 5 seconds.
We were using our credit cards to buy groceries, but we were approaching the limit. And I was like, what are we going to do? And that was really scary to start sharing when we started sharing that. I mean, I didn't tell people that at the moment, but I wasn't selling anything either at the moment. But what happened then is things started to turn around. We started to get sales, and it was wonderful, right? And so after we came out of that hole, then it's really wonderful to share that. But even just the first time, it was kind of scary, because there's that part of you that always wants to look good, right? But everybody needs to know that you've struggled, and everybody needs to know that it didn't happen overnight. It doesn't for anybody. It just looks that way sometimes from the outside, but in reality, they struggled.
Right. Let's talk about mindset really quickly because, well, that's my space and obviously it's yours too. Yeah. Woohoo, mindset. So, first of all, Mark said that you are awesome and thank you for sharing your story. He can certainly appreciate the value of sharing a vulnerable story. So there's that.
Thank you, Mark.
So something that really came up for me just now as you were talking was when you kind of made that first, it was like the first perceived success. There is this stigma that so few people talk about, which is it's dismissing that as a fluke. So it's the fluke effect of having the first sale or selling your first program or whatever it might be, getting your first client, and then dismissing it as a fluke or, well, could I really sustain it? Is it possible anybody else will do it? Because it's a mindset issue. Did that crop up for you at all where you thought, okay, we had this, but how do we know this is real?
Actually, I prescribe to the theory that if you can do it once, you can repeat it. If you can do it 10 times, you can do that 20 times. If you can do it 20 times, you can do it 40 times. And because once you do the mastery of it, you're starting on that process. So no, that's not one of the things that holds me back. I'm like, no, if I did it once, I can do it again, and I can do it again, and I can do it again.
That's great. I love how a coach coaches without realizing they're coaching. Do you see what you did there? You said, why don't I subscribe to it? Because this is my mindset. Meanwhile, people who might subscribe to it are listening going, oh, well, that's a great philosophy to have. Maybe I should incorporate that in my life. So thank you for that very teachable moment that was kind of on the sly, and you probably didn't even know you were doing it. So there's so much value in these conversations, and we did the Badassery retreat in person, which was amazing. And yes, we're doing another one in Vegas next April, which is so awesome. But only the attendees from this event right now are open for enrollment. So I'm not going to sell anything on this thing. Of course, that's not my thing. But what I wanted to say, though, is there is so much value in those personal connections in one-on-one. How have you managed to keep some semblance of that in your life, aside from actually working with a human person, your husband, right? How do you keep that in check in your world online?
Well, actually, one of the things that was really the best for us is once we got to a place where I could hire people. We have 3 part-timers, and they are incredible women, and I get to interact with them on a regular basis, and it's just so much fun, right? And then the other thing, too, so that's like a day-to-day. But then bigger than that is groups like this one, Badass Bosses. I mean, getting it in there and even just the online interaction, it makes a difference because other people are going through the same issues that you are. And so you're not alone. As soon as you get in those kinds of places, it's just there's so much more available to people. And then bigger than that is we always have done events some kind every year. Some kind of training, or whether it's a business mastermind or Tony Robbins or the Badass Bash, which I'm going to next year already. I signed up. I'm like, yes.
And Stephanie is a yes too. So she said yes to Vegas.
Yay, Stephanie. Yeah. That was actually from the Badass Bash. Stephanie's soul song, it changed my life, and it's changed my husband's life, which has been like, honest to God, I feel like I can go, because of the changes in him.
Wow.
Because, I mean, Matt is an incredible person, but that mission statement has been so powerful for him. And for me, it was the non-negotiables. I didn't realize that dancing and singing were literally non-negotiables. And yet I would notice when I was doing the worst in my life that I hadn't been listening to music. I hadn't been singing, and I hadn't been moving. I hadn't been dancing for months sometimes. And then I'd be like, why am I depressed? Duh, because your non-negotiables weren't there, those non-negotiables are daily things. So
yeah. And Stephanie she said, thank you. She calls us awesome, but we're just leaders boosting leaders. That's what we do, right? That's what leaders do. You call good stuff when you see it. And, there's a certain element of abundance that you have to have in being able to cheer other people on and helping them rise up too. How has abundance shown up in your life, Cheri? And I'll make this the last question.
Cool. For me, it's an abundance of love, and then an abundance of things to be grateful for. And I really believe that the gratitude is what brought the abundance to me. because when I was struggling and focusing on what wasn't and the lack, and I was literally cutting off any abundance coming for me. So when I am grateful, I'm grateful. So Amazon, they send out a little notice every time you sell something. So, oh, yep, see, I've got it on my phone. Amazon should be on my phone. So every time I get one, I'm like, woo! Like I cheer it, like literally cheer it. In that one sale, I could have made $50 or I could have made $5, whatever. But like just cheering every time, really feeling grateful. I'm grateful when I get out of bed. I'm grateful for all the things like that I can walk and breathe and talk. And, some people, when I first start talking to them and they're like, I can't find anything to be grateful for. And literally, I'm like, come on. You could be grateful that you're not a bug. You could be grateful, that you can walk and your spine, your brain talks to your feet. I'm like, come on, there's lots of stuff here.
Yeah.
And so that's what I think. For me, abundance has shown up with the more love and the more gratitude I have, the more abundance has shown up. And it starts showing up easier, if that makes sense. It's not a struggle. Yeah.
It's a muscle too. The gratitude and the abundance are muscles. If you have spent your whole life looking at what you don't have or what you'd rather have and things like that, or feeling like you don't have, then it's very easy to get sucked into that, and that becomes your strong muscle. Whereas when you start becoming grateful and start looking at the gifts that you have in your life, you start to absolutely bring in more abundance, and it gets stronger. And I think let me ask you this too. It's probably a no-brainer for you at any point in your day now to just stop and feel gratitude, whereas before you had to actually work to build that muscle. Is that correct?
Yeah, actually, it was like, first thing in the morning, I was like, I was almost like gritting my teeth trying to get that gratitude going sometimes, because I would wake up in this like fear state instead. So it's like work to be grateful. But I did the work because I didn't want my whole day to be from that fear state, right?
Right.
Then over time, teachers started showing up for me that helped me. Like now, I pop out of bed and I'm like, woohoo! I was looking for that natural stuff, right? Because my life is lovely and has been for quite a while. And I wasn't grateful still. I'm like naturally, you know what I mean? I just wasn't feeling grateful when I got up. When I would move throughout my day, I'd have to remind myself it would have to be a conscious effort. And now I'm just happy. Like it just is a flow. And I still keep my practices in place because it's not like it's handled, right? I mean, I don't think that it's handled till you're dead, honestly.
Yeah.
You're growing continually. So I keep my practices in place, the stuff that works, because I know it works. And all of a sudden, no matter how wonderful things are, if you don't have some of those things you put in, just slowly you'll kind of decline over time.
Yeah, and I think it's definitely a muscle that needs to continue to be worked out, basically. So, Cheri, where can people find you? Do you have any programs going on right now? I know you do trainings and you teach people how to do what you do. Is there anything going on right now, or are you like in between?
No, I have a couple things. So with our Amazon group, if anybody is interested in learning how to sell on Amazon, we do have a course, and the price is going up on May 1st. So we have a free group. You're welcome to come join, check it out, check out some of the trainings, and that gives you a preview of what is available in the paid course. There's a lot more one-on-one in the paid course. We do group coaching, masterminds, that kind of thing. And, if it is for you, then I recommend it. If you guys have been dabbling in maybe eBay or you want to get into Amazon, it's a great course. I mean, obviously I think so. But the other thing too is in my Grateful Bitch group, I actually am going to be doing some video series of just some things that I feel will help people, right? And I don't have a paid program right this minute. I actually was going to do one. I was like, awesome, I'm going to do it. And then I was like, what would feel good is to actually just give to people.
Right.
And so that's what I'm doing, because I'm working on, I have a project I'm working on. It's gratitude gifts, and it's boxes so that it's like curated, awesome stuff that you can give to somebody. And
nice.
That is like, I dig that kind of stuff. I was asking myself, like, what could I talk about all the time? I'm like, well, gratitude and appreciation. Hell yeah, I could talk about that shit all day. So that's what I'm doing. And if you want to find me, I'm at Grateful Bitch. If you search Grateful Bitch on Facebook, and then, or you can message me. You'll see me. You can click on my, oh, thank you.
I got your back, sister. And it's grateful. It's /Grateful Cheri, by the way. So you won't.
You can't put bitch in the links on Facebook. I've learned.
How rude of them to not let you do that, you know? So, yeah. So would you recommend then if someone from this video were to take one action, would it be to join the Grateful Bitch group? Yes, because it is for everybody. And, you know, it's where I put my heart. It's where I am committed, you know, to show up for people. And I've had so many like blocks in front of that. And it's just been so relieving to be like, hey, you know what? I'm just going to give value. I'm just going to go out there and give some value to people because I love people and I want people to feel the same way I do. I mean, you know, not, but like their own version of this, right? Just happy and excited about life because, man, I've been on the other side where I was unhappy and not excited about life. Yeah.
So anything I can do to help that along in the world, the whole shift. So
I love the whole heart-centered entrepreneur component to this group, to you know, to the Badass Bosses group, by the way, which is actually where I met you, which was amazing too. So I highly recommend Badass Bosses, but absolutely get your butt in Grateful Bitch if you're not in there yet. Sure that you're going to be. When do you have any idea for when you're going to start doing those trainings?
Yeah, I'm just going to be starting. I'm going to do some live videos actually starting today.
Yay! Well, accept my request because I want to see them.
Sure, I will.
All right. So is there anything else that you want to share with us before you go, Cheri?
Well, just thank you so much, Debbie, for doing this. And I want to acknowledge that you put this together. This is your passion. I know you love to hear other people's stories. And it's just so wonderful that you give people a chance to tell their stories because it is such a blessing. You are such a blessing. So thank you so much for creating this community and doing this.
You're not allowed to make me cry on my own show. Thank you so much.
And no, I'll click it, Debbie, if you cry.
Allergies. Oh, it's allergy season. Yeah. Thank you so much, Cheri. And again, if you guys have any questions or you're watching the replay, please feel free to drop them in. Cheri's amazing. I know you'll find it too. Go join Grateful Bitch and stay in tune with what's going on in this group, in Grateful Bitch, and just follow this leader because she's going places, guys. More places because she's already been successful in places. So I don't know. I'm on board. Thank you so much, Cheri. Have an awesome weekend. Look forward to seeing you rise even higher, my friend.
Awesome. Bye, guys.